Or are we? Oh, hello.
Are we ready? Okay, hi,
Nice.
Welcome everybody.
Hello.
Have a seat.
Hello, hello.
This is the closer, the culmination of the digital theater. This is the host with the most. Congratulations to all of you for making it through NATPE. Awesome.
Yeah, put yourselves around.
A beautiful location. Beautiful location. My name is Drew Baldwin, and I am the co-founder of Tube Filter. It's a publication that works in the online media space. Many of you may be familiar with it, and many of you may be not. This panel, we're really going to get into the challenges and opportunities of hosting your own show online and being a part of online news, information, daily, creative shows. And because we're at NATPE, I want to really focus on some of the differences between producing online and the more traditional type of hosting experience where you're cast. These producers here who are talent, but they're also producers and creators, and I think that really informs the way that they work. So I'm going to allow everyone to introduce his or herself, starting with Alex, who was just at the Digital Luminary Awards as our host.
Yes.
And we had a nice champagne toast, so.
I was literally doing hosting like 20 minutes ago. So my name is Alex Albrecht. I am the co-creator and co-host of Dignation, which just wrapped a 6.5-year run in December, which is sort of weird to say because we put out a piece of content every week for 6.5 years, so it's kind of weird that it's over. Also the co-creator and co-host and producer of The Totally Rad Show, which has been running, again, daily content for about 4.5 years. Yeah, and so I have a little clip of sort of the craziness that is Dignation over the last 6.5 years, which we can run if you that's the time, or you want more?
We're going to run all the clips.
Run all the clips conspicuously.
Afterwards. Yeah.
That's what that word means. Not many people know that. Play words with friends. So yeah, and now I've started breaking into traditional stuff. Have a television series pilot that I'm shopping around right now. A couple scripted internet series that I've been working on, as well as getting into directing film and television and music videos and the like. So
Alex
sort of
Albrecht.
doing everything. Thank you very much, Alex Albrecht. We got more. It's a panel.
I don't even want to talk.
Nice, Peter.
Hi, I'm Nice Peter. I was a musician and a comedian for 9 years, and then I started making YouTube videos, and I started having this conversation with the audience, and we came up with this idea for this series called the Epic Rap Battles of History. And it grew, and we just got about 400 million views on it total for the first season. So it was pretty, yeah. Thank you. So it was a series that kind of really took off and changed the way I was doing everything that I was doing. But all the while I was doing that, I kept up this weekly conversation with the audience to keep coming up with new ideas and keep doing new things and exploring other things, and that's what we're doing now. So it's been a fun year.
Nice, Peter. Welcome. Daystorm.
My name is Daystorm Power, real name.
That's true.
I do these creative challenges on my channel. It's what I'm known for. I would take a challenge from my audience that I've grown to make music, original songs about anything they pretty much ask me to do, from jumping out of planes to rapping underwater to solving Rubik's Cubes to anything that you can think of. I've probably already done it in a musical challenge. So that's how I grew my audience, and now I'm merging into more of songs, full-length songs, and that's where I am right now with my music. Yeah.
Daystorm Power.
I'm a ninja.
Welcome. Taryn.
Hi, I'm Taryn Southern. I started out mostly in traditional media. My first TV show was me traveling the world and meeting my MySpace friends. And through that show, I started working with a lot of the major social networking sites and live streaming platforms, and hosting the first ever shows back when it was still too slow to load the video, doing a lot of the live hosting. And now I do have my own YouTube channel, so I dabble in that and sometimes collab with these guys. But I would say I kind of ride the line between working in traditional and digital media. I just finished working on The X Factor last fall as their online host and a digital correspondent for the Fox show, as well as an MTV project that was a collaboration between MTV Digital and MTV Television. So.
Taryn, Southern.
I'm Justine, and I have been making YouTube videos for a very long time, before YouTube was even YouTube. I was posting content probably like 2006 on every website that had video content, and it was really because I was passionate about video editing. And I really only put myself in the videos because I couldn't force anyone else to be in my videos. Like, hey guys, I got this great idea, I want to make this movie, this show, and they're like, get out of here, you're crazy. So I just started posting it, and people started watching, and now I'm still creating different types of content, interacting with my audience, and slowly I've started doing more TV things. I have a goal that I want to be on all of my favorite shows. So it was just kind of interesting is I tweeted the casting director of Law & Order a couple years ago.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
She was on Law & Order.
Yeah, so I was in Law & Order. I wanted to be on the show, so I kept tweeting him, and finally he's like, okay, well, here's a script. What do you think? And then 2 weeks later, I was on the show. So it's kind of interesting tying that whole world together.
And Justine, welcome.
Yay.
So, just by way of introduction, I mean, you all talk a lot like you own the show. And I think that's something that we want to make sure is very clear, that in many cases, as an online producer, you are also the creator and owner. Some cases not, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. I'm going to roll some clips to help, clarify some of the work that these extraordinarily talented people do. But before I do, I wanted to get an idea of your familiarity with these producers. So by show of hands, who is familiar with our panelists? And who is not?
Hi, guys.
So I'm really trying to, because I really want to maximize the value of this panel for everyone. So we'll get into some details, some of the specifics, but I also really want to just explore the nature of producing your own content. But before we do that, we'll roll some video that will help clarify some of the work that these folks are doing.
What's up, world? Another day, another challenge. If you got a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Watch me take this color cube and help you resolve it. Gotta catch my I turn another corner, no turning back. Sprinting, boom, life's on track. I can't breathe. Look at all this pressure you putting on me. Who you got on repeat? Is it M, Drake, Wayne, J, Kanye? Time for the world to talk about day, so I call Talib Kweli. I heard you got beat, you better squash that. This is our time, you better watch that. Took my specs off, I can see the walls. I'm straight into the showers. I got superpowers. I'ma rip your heart out and eat your guts. Lock you in a coffin and nail it shut. Call the kill streak, overwatch my back now. One shot kill, turn the axe back down. A, B, I see you. When I was a baby boy, the Godfather didn't love us. Big Mama had enough and said it's time to step, brother.
I packed my bags and flew from USA to Canada to Russia and Ukraine, then chilled in Paris, France, and
You're so close, yet so far away. We gon' run everything. There will come a time when we live it like Oprah Winfrey.
Hey, yo, pull your pants up too, make sure you see your drawers. So you gonna know they're dirty.
I need your help because I'm confused. My friends and my family are confused. We don't know if this is me or not.
Hilarious.
Exactly like me and I have a long story, or somebody did a fantastic Photoshop job of this model because seriously, looks like me. My friends saw this in a costume store. They sent me a picture. And
Is that
did
you?
do some modeling for a week?
I don't know.
And I saw the picture. I was like, no, but holy crap. The real question is going to be when I put this wig on. Is this actually going to look just like me? Let's mix this up a little.
Who votes yes?
Ready? Here's me. What do you guys think? Please leave a comment below, and if you know the girl that happened to model for this, we need to find her. Maybe I am her, so maybe she actually doesn't exist because I am someone just photoshopped. Maybe the ears look a little different. I feel like, I don't know.
We are in Vegas.
We're in Toronto.
Hell yeah, baby. We're coming to you from Japan.
Yes. We are here in Reno.
Reno! We were pulled into this really random bar. We are at Mac World.
Yes, we are not in my apartment today.
Hollywood, California, people! We're here in Amsterdam! We have like people in the rafters and shit.
It does look fun.
That's bad news. We're here in San Jose! We're here in San Jose! Or in London! Yes! Welcome to Los Angeles! South by Southwest Austin, Texas!
That was crazy.
Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning, Alex.
How are you this morning?
I'm a little hungover. Yes, I haven't blinked yet. My eyes are really watering, I swear. Oh, I had to blink. Oh, fuck me.
I'm still going, still going.
You're lying.
I won!
You're lying.
Look, you Jessica Alba! How could you do that? How could you do? How in God's name do you make the jump to?
Oh.
Is the camera still rolling? Do we look cool?
Flip it around, flip it around. Ooh. That's okay, Jay. Do you want me to fix it? Let me fix it. As you imagine, he's multiplied, blah, blah, blah. Uh-oh.
Whoa. Cialis.
Ah, shit.
Kevin went like this. I'm learning how to sea walk. Ready? And this is what he did. He went like this.
No, I did not.
You did not. That's exactly what you did.
Okay, you start off by locking your heels like this, right?
Okay.
And then you go in like this, so it's like that, and then you go back the other way. I can't
drop it.
It's finale week, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Happy holidays. And as always, we are coming to you live from the lot in LA, where somewhere very close by, we've got 3 very determined contestants who are preparing to do battle for the last time. In addition to the contestants, of course, we've also been connecting each and every week here on the pre-show with the fans. Her X Factor recaps are, as Simon might say, bloody fantastic. And we just love her, even if she doesn't always love us. Skyping in all the way from Charlotte, North Carolina, please welcome the one and only Tasha. Tasha, baby, how you doing, boo?
Hi, Boots, I'm doing good.
Megan and Erica, you guys are on. Hi.
Hi, Terrence.
Yahoo music editor Lindsay Parker. Lindsay, welcome.
right.
Perez Hilton. How about that for an intro?
Just yesterday, she dropped a brand new single, and now she's here, Rebecca Black. Thank you so much for having me. This is awesome. Wendy Williams.
Yes.
Wendy, how you doing? He's a freak, he's a geek, and most importantly, he's a self-proclaimed X Factor fanatic. How's that for an intro, Sam Levine?
Thank you very much.
Internet celebrity, X Factor fan, and my dear friend, Olga Kay. All the way from Wichita, Kansas, my lovely parents.
It's hilarious.
You guys got the chat to work.
You bet. Yeah, technology's wonderful.
Familiar face.
Call me BA biceps, cause I crush the whole game. Bring Tuesday, Friday, and little Charlie to train. And watch me dip their ass in gold and wear them like a neck chain. Sucker, I choke you with your own sweater sleeves. You couldn't even beat me in the land of make-believe. I will Mr. Teabag you in the closest cemetery. Nobody's gonna miss you, cause all your friends imaginary.
Hi there, neighbor. I hope we don't mind if I change my shit. Stop it, rockin' sneakers till this battle's over. So I don't get blood from your ugly face on my panty loafers. I like you just the way you are, 1 in a million. But it looks like the water gave your head a Brazilian. I'm saying that, Mr. Gold Chains, you got too many. The only thing I keep is on the shelf in my Emmys. I see a world full of children I can tell. You call yourself T, cause you're too dumb to spell.
Who you call a dumb fool? Mr. T only needs 1 letter. Hello? It's for you. Bill Cosby wants a sweater. You're a other version in a dumpy ass house. I get Hannibal, Murdoch, hand-faced to stomp you out. The only pussycat you ever seen is on Henrietta. Sucker, hey girl, Mr. McFeely delivers a lot more than letters. So before you come to battle with your PBS crap, how about I call up CPS about them kids on your lap, fool?
What you say? Kids love me more than lunch. I'm not the one with my face on some whack-ass Captain Crunch. When my plan comes together, you won't even see it coming. I'll chop you into 4 black dudes and I'll remake Cool Runnings. I'll say this once, I hope it's understood. Get right back in your range, get the fuck out of my neighborhood.
Oh my God. So give it up. Yeah, that's great. Oh my God. So one thing that comes across right off the bat is how much fun you all are having. Like, doesn't it make you want to do your own show? And you can, but it's a lot more hard work than you think. So just tell me, how much fun is it? Are you having as much fun as it looks?
I think you have to be having as much fun as it looks. Otherwise, it doesn't look like you're having as much fun on the internet. I think one of the things that is great about the internet is that true, genuine enjoyment comes across. And it's really hard to set out by going, we're going to look like we're having a lot of fun, even though we hate every minute of this, because people can smell that a mile away. I mean, you can see that, and every single person out there was just having a blast. You know what I mean? Like, all that stuff is stuff that we would be doing anyway, whether people were watching or not. And I think that's the real joy of doing stuff on the web and creating your own stuff, is that, you know, I was doing that type of crap with my buddies 20 years ago. God, I can't believe I just said that. But yes, 20 years ago, and nobody was paying me, and now somebody pays me. It's great.
But now, like, the power went out, it looked like, in one of the clips.
Times.
And you included that in your highlight reel. Now, normally a technical problem you would want to hide, but why did you decide to include that? Was that?
Well, we you know, when we started Dignate, we had previously hosted the screensavers on G4 or G4 Tech TV, which is now called Attack of the Show. So we hosted an hour of live television on a cable network for months and months and months. Kevin, my co-host and co-creator, and I. And one of the things that was always so frustrating was we really couldn't be ourselves. I mean, we could kind of be partly ourselves, because you know, I mean, whenever you're doing hosting, you're bringing that personality to anything that you do. But we like to curse and drink, and we like to talk about stuff that really shouldn't be on a tech show, until we created our own show. So for us, that's the stuff that we enjoy, because that's the stuff that makes us laugh. You know what I mean? Like when the power goes out and we're outside in our friend's backyard, it is spooky, and we do feel like we're in Terminator, and why would we not share that with the other people who are watching, who would also enjoy the fact that the power went out?
And they love that, right?
Yeah.
Taryn, I mean, do you notice that there's a difference between when you're doing your own work and when you're working for someone else?
There absolutely is, 100%. I didn't include anything from my YouTube channel in there. I just stuck the last X Factor stuff up there because I think it kind of shows that studios are trying to reach a new audience by bringing in people from new media to kind of do what they do best. But there definitely is. I mean, look, Verizon and Pepsi are the sponsors. Like, I doubt there's a, and it's a Fox show, so you have to stick within some lines. But I feel like now more and more I can bring a little bit more of myself into when I am working for a studio. But when it's just me on my channel, I mean, I sing songs about, we don't need to go there, but my last music video, Coffee Makes Me Poo, that was, you know.
Coffee makes me poo.
I think it makes everyone poo.
So
Let's be honest.
I don't know that I would be able to say that on Fox.
Now,
So,
but there still is a limit to the amount of fun you can have. I mean, Justine, do you feel that, do you have complete freedom?
You definitely don't, and I mean, you don't really have complete freedom on your YouTube channel either, because a lot of advertisers aren't going to want to advertise against someone who's, well, doing vulgar things or all this craziness. So you do have to be careful. But I've started working with Spike, and I've been working with them the past year, hosting a show on game trailers and doing their tech segments. So hosting for them, they still want me to bring my tech expertise, but they'll still write the scripts, and you know, we go through and make sure that everything is something that I agree with. But recently they've been doing an all-access show where we cover E3, CES, Comic-Con, and it's all live, and I'm sort of their digital correspondent where I'm reading tweets, I'm on Facebook, and I'm relaying those messages and questions to the other hosts on the show. So it's kind of bringing the audience into the show and, you know, finding out what they want to know and what they're asking, because if 5,000 people are asking the same question, obviously somebody wants to know, and we were able to do that and see that real time. So bringing that to TV is huge.
Now, I noticed even on the clips, did you notice some familiar faces in different clips? There's a lot of collaboration that's going on. Dave Storm, you were obviously featured in the epic rap battle.
Yeah, I think with doing online, you don't really have to go through a lot of access points to actually do a collaboration. It's like, you know, the people, you call them up, say, hey, you want to work on this? And like, okay, let's do it. But I think in traditional media, it's more like, oh, you got to call my agent, call my manager, you have to set it up. And with us, it's like, you love doing something. If it's a project that works for you, it's like, almost like Justine said, it's like real time. But it's real time with the collaborations also. It's like, if you want to work, like I remember when we did the, she and I, we did the Heroes and Villains. I just called her, I texted her, Justine, you want to jump in the video? She's like, okay.
It was 2 hours before you needed me. I was like, are you serious?
Yeah, it was like 2 hours before, and she just
Both
came out.
Nice Peter
Get
and
ready.
Justine were in a project that you had.
They showed up to shoot my part at my studio, where we recorded the rap battle. So it wasn't like we had to book studio time and do all this stuff. And in this age, with this equipment that you can get, I see at television sets just so many people working on something, but they're not actually working on anything. And there's like tons of money being spent on sandwiches for people who aren't doing anything. And meanwhile, we've made 2 videos that more people watch. And
a lot of craft services going on.
Yeah, it baffles me. So he showed up to shoot a cameo in that superhero video at my studio, and he literally was the camera guy, and he came outside. He had a green screen set up on my front yard, and I put on a costume, shot it, and they left. It was like half an hour, and he wasn't even there. It was great.
That's how we roll.
That's how we roll.
And even all of my content too, I just have a very white wall and good lighting. So the video that I shot that with just a little camera, some audio equipment and lighting, and it's
And
in
it
my
looks and
office.
sounds awesome. It's not just...
Yeah, and people are like, what studio do you use? I'm
But
like,
one
well.
difference is the audience, when they get used to the platform or the background that you use, it's really hard to change them out. Like if you start out you're doing things in your particular bedroom, studio, or living room, they want to see that. If you swap out, you may actually lose some fans.
Oh yeah, we did that with Dignation. We started it on my couch in my living room, and we had, as the show grew and the advertisers came in and we started making serious money on it, we were always talking about like, well, should we get, like, we can afford a studio, should we get a studio? And then we started working with Revision 3, and Revision 3 opened a studio in San Francisco, so then it became this conversation of, we actually have a studio, and the best example for us was the movie Wayne's World, where it was like, we don't want to be Wayne's World, where we literally build a fake basement in a studio for us to sit on a couch in a fake basement just so we're shooting it in a studio. So for us, it was always sort of a no-brainer. It was like, why would we not? I mean, the couch is in my garage. We literally were shooting in my garage for 6.5 years. Though we could have gone and had that professional studio, it exists for us to use, and we just went, that's not what our audience wants. Our audience wants our bedrooms, because that's where they met us. That's where they feel like they're part of it. I mean, people come up to me all the time. I'm sure you guys get this all the time, where they really feel like they are friends with you. Not just, I know you from that thing I love. They know so much about you personally.
I saw you hear about your cat, man. It's like,
exactly.
But that shirt you got really does look good on you.
Exactly.
So
and
yeah,
there's not a barrier between
No
them.
barrier. How do you characterize your relationship with the audience? Because I think that's something that's very attractive to networks that are trying to increase interactivity, because that type of engagement's valuable. But is it
I'd
ideal?
say scandalous. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
It's awkwardly one way. And that's the one thing I will say is, as much as I interact with my audience through Twitter and through comments and emails and all this stuff, there's only so much you can do unless you literally just start video chatting for an hour every week with every single one of the people that watches you. They're going to know more about you than you know about them. And as long as you know that going in, it's a great relationship, because every time I see somebody who knows me from my shows, it's like meeting a friend that I had no idea we were best buds. I mean, they're so genuinely excited that it rubs off on you, and you're like, I'm excited to meet you. Who the hell are you? Give me info about you.
But you can also get really hurt by some of the audience,
Oh,
right?
yeah, comments sting.
I think, what were you saying earlier that...
They're young. Some of the commenters are a younger audience, and I don't know if you've ever been insulted by a 13-year-old, but it's so laser accurate. And the example I use is like, nice Peter, your chin is starting to look old. And it's just like, what?
So for a week, you're in the mirror just like,
yeah, just looking at your
examining
chin. Why did SD41116 Green Hands think my chin looks old?
But I think that's the difference between TV, whereas, you're playing a character. We are playing ourselves. So when somebody says, wow, Justine, I hate you, like, they're not saying, like, I hate the character you're playing. They're saying that they hate you. So
really hate you.
I think that's hard, too, because you have to realize that, you're putting yourself out there, and you're going to get these comments.
Yeah.
And if you can't handle it, don't do it.
The best
Grow
thing that
really
ever
thick
happened to
skin.
me
Yeah.
was my first email. When I got the job to host the Screensavers, I got to work and I was like, I'm hosting. I was a huge fan of Screensavers, job of a lifetime. I was like, I get to host this show. I love it. Sit down at my desk at G4 Tech TV, open up my work email. First time I had a work email. I'm like, let's do it. First email I have is Alex Albrecht should fucking die.
Wow.
Literally.
Sure.
But here's the thing. Best thing that could have ever happened to me because I had never been on TV. I had never hosted this show. They had known nothing about me except my name. And I went, oh, it has nothing to do with me.
Right.
I will get these things and people will not like what I'm doing, but it literally has nothing to do with me.
Well,
It's just
sometimes when you
personal
go and you
preference.
investigate, I'm like, who said this? I'll click on their channel and it's like, I'm Tommy, I'm 11. I'm like, phew.
But at the same time, that honesty is also like it's what pushes it all forward. You do care about what they say, and a lot of times they say really positive things and give you really constructive feedback. And like that whole idea, the whole rap battles thing came from a conversation with the audience. It wasn't really my idea.
What do you mean?
Well, like I had this little bit of an idea, and I said in a video, hey, I've got this idea to do like a rap battle between two people. What do you think we should do? And I got all these suggestions, and the first suggestion we got was John Lennon versus Bill O'Reilly. And I was like, that's a really weird matchup. But that's what kind of set the tone for the whole thing. And I never would have come up with that myself. So as much as they'll tell you, you know, specific things that can hurt your feelings, they can also they have a lot of input.
They definitely do.
What do you do to solicit input in your creative process? I mean, Taryn, even in your in the X Factor, it sounded like that interactivity is something that's totally coveted. Like you reached out and were Skyping with not only your parents but viewers, right? Constantly.
It was like you'd have Wendy Williams, who's a major talk show host, right next to a fan,
Your
and that would
parents.
get them really excited.
And that
or my
worked.
Yeah,
parents,
that's great.
you know?
Yeah, but like you know, in your other channels, other shows, how do you solicit engagement? If you want to.
You literally ask. Two of my most popular shows is Ask IJ, which was a show that they came up with.
Yep.
I said, hey, I want to do a new show. What should I do? They're like, oh, we'll ask you questions and you answer them. So every week or every so often, they ask me questions and I answer from all the various social networks. And then I have another show called Vlog University where it's kind of like teaching people how to vlog, but more or less it's featuring my viewers, their videos in my videos. So I give them a homework assignment, they complete it, and I show it in the next episode.
If you want to learn how to vlog,
Talk to her.
It's fun.
Yeah, I think a lot of the shows on YouTube that are very successful are shows, because YouTube is one of those sites that it's real-time engagement. I think a lot of successful shows are the ask shows or the things where you can talk to someone immediately, or just in the internet world in general, just the fact that you can speak to someone right away and you can see it once you're live, you're live. I mean, the comments start rolling in, and you pretty much you do care what the people say. So if you're getting like so much hate on a certain way, you're like, well, you know how to adjust. And just doing videos after videos. And the thing is, like, we're always in their face. Because we're putting videos up, like, constantly. Some of us on schedule, some not, but we're always constantly putting work up. So to go back to what you were saying about seeing people in public, I've had people just, I have friends who are doing traditional television, who are actors in traditional television as opposed to what I do. Their fans will look from afar. And when we're out, and they'll be like, hey, that's such and such and so-and-so, as opposed to in an online personality, they'll approach us because they feel like they know us more. So they'll run up to us and hug us like they know us, and I'm like, it's a little weirded out, like, oh, okay, hey, how's it going? because they feel they're with us every step of every week, as opposed to someone in traditional entertainment. It's a little different. So they'll be like, hey, I wonder if I could go take a picture. They don't feel like the same connection.
Well, I think also it's much more immediate.
Right.
And you're a lot more exposed. I think that's also why sometimes it's the agony and the ecstasy, because you're really putting yourself out there in a very different way. I mean, it comes across in just some of the examples that we saw. But you're also, like, part of your programming, Day Storm, you're always asking for input. What should my next challenge be? And I mean, do you get a lot of feedback there?
Yeah. Even trying to transition out of the challenges, I can't. You know, because every question is someone, you know.
I would unsubscribe.
Every question is someone like, I challenge you to, because it's just something that everyone wants to challenge someone to do something. And it's almost like they know you're going to do it, and they know you're going to achieve it, but they just want to see how you do it. You know, because it's like, I didn't fail a challenge yet, but it's almost for them, it's just like, oh, I just want to see how he did it. You know, and it's almost like people who have like mail shows. I have a show where I open mail on my second channel, and they they just want to see what's in there. You know, I don't know. It's a little.
You got a PO box, right?
Yeah. You have. Yeah, oh yeah.
Well, when you have an audience, will you please give me your home address on the live stream right now? Yeah. When you have an audience that is so engaged like that, are there limitations? You know, can you like
it depends
get off
on your
get
audience.
off the rock, sort of? You know what I mean? Like.
No, I think it depends on the audience you build. If you build your audience to like a certain thing, that's what you've built. Because it's not like these people were, you created that audience. I created my audience for that. So if I'm going to transition them, I have to figure out a way to transition them out of it.
Right.
You know, I built the audience to love the challenges that I do and things.
You were like Monday, Friday.
Right.
Now,
I've had them on schedule. Now I'm just like all over the place, and they're upset. So, and it takes a while. Like they just have to adapt to the new.
If you hear these words he's using, like he's describing his audience as upset. He can feel the emotional state of his audience, and that's a genuine thing. I'm going through a similar thing where I can feel that they're upset, and it's like that kind of connection. I think is really what's special about YouTube.
Yeah. But you're also beholden to them in a way that, I mean. It's difficult to move quickly, right?
Difficult.
You can't get
No,
out
you
of
can't
that
just
set.
jump out.
But
No.
you know that's part of, I guess.
But then it's hard too because I don't have a set show or a set schedule, so
Yeah,
nobody really knows what they're going to get or anything.
You've taught them to expect nothing. Like,
Yeah.
no, but like expect no
Amazing.
regularity. It's
No,
really
but
good in a weird way.
It is true, but having that set
I love
schedule.
that. I love
I mean,
that
a lot of the successful YouTube channels, people know when to expect something on this certain channel, whereas some days I won't post for two weeks. But I have a couple other channels where I post an iPhone video almost every single day. So at least there is that
getting
sort of a connection. Whereas, okay, hey, I'm going to post a video in 2 weeks. Look for it then, or I'm working on a video. So they see the whole process of working on that said piece, and then they actually get to see it.
But I found the schedule worked for me when I was growing my audience because it gave them, they knew when to come back. So they didn't, because a lot of times when someone's on YouTube, you can subscribe to a YouTube channel. But if you're subscribed to 10 or 20 channels, then a lot of times the videos push back in the query and they don't see your video. So if you want your audience to see your video, I found that putting them on a schedule, they know to come back on that Monday or that Friday to see my videos. So if they're subscribed to the other 19 channels, then if my video's push, they'll say, okay, well, I'll just go to his channel to find his video because it's not in my subscription box.
Can you briefly explain, like, if I subscribe to your channel, what does that mean for me as a viewer?
If you subscribe to my channel as a viewer, you would get an email now that into whatever the email is connected to your YouTube channel to let you know I've released a new video. If you're subscribed to my channel, it may go to your Facebook stream. And also, when you log into YouTube, once you log in, it'll show the people that you are subscribed to that they have put out new videos. So that's what a subscription is. So it's very key on YouTube to have subscribers because you'll hit your core audience before you hit people who haven't seen your videos.
Is that how you reach your audience primarily? Is through the subscription model if you're a YouTuber?
Yeah.
It is, but there's so many other ways too. I mean,
yeah.
There's Facebook, there's Twitter. You basically have to be everywhere. And when I first started, I literally put a video. If you could post a video on a website, I put it there. And a lot of my audience too became very segregated because they were like, well, I'm only on this certain website, so I'm only going to stay here. So I think what's also important is to have a website because if somebody doesn't, even know that you have a YouTube channel, they're like, well, I just go to the website. But having all of those different distribution points is super important because some people are lazy. I don't want to get off of Facebook. I want to watch it here.
Yeah, some people don't want to get on Twitter. They're like, I'm staying on Facebook. I don't care what you put on Twitter. They don't care.
Yeah, you kind of got to be everywhere. And for us, we started with a schedule back because we were sort of part of that push to train people that you could watch shows online. I mean, 6.5 years ago, YouTube didn't exist. When we were starting to put it out, really was when iTunes included podcasting into the iTunes Music Store, which really was what blew up the beginning kernels of this whole digital thing. And from us coming from TV, we went, okay, we're not idiots. If we have to get on a sort of TV-like schedule because people they know that every Wednesday I get to watch my NCIS. You know what I mean? Like they were trained already to know, and they could look forward to it, and it's the same sort of thing. And when we started changing stuff in the show, it's like trying to move a cruise ship. I mean, it literally is just sort of like, we're over here now, and everybody was like, why is it not 7 stories? Why is it's 5? I'm confused now, and it's like, which is 5? you think it's so minuscule in the day-to-day of us making it, where it's like, oh, we'll just do 5 instead of 7. Yeah, high fives all around the 5 people in the room. You know what I mean? And then you put it out, and it's like, I mean, there was one time on Totally Rad Show where I didn't put my hair up, and it literally was called Hairgate 2011 because my hair just looks like normal. I mean, it's like this, you know, I just put stuff in my hair and it's up. And I was just sort of like, I don't know why I didn't do it, but literally it was like the biggest thing that could have happened to our show. It was as if we had just said, we're going to stop doing the show, was my hair. So there's like little things that you think are not a big deal become a really big deal. But the other thing is when it's fun is when you think something is going to be massive. We might lose half our audience if we do this. And then you do it and they're like, yeah, all right. I mean, it's really weird. They're like such a weird, it literally is this sort of third entity involved in production is this blob of people who enjoy your content. And it's sort of this, it has its own personality. I mean, like you were saying, where you could kind of feel that they weren't happy and you're like, I don't know what's happening, but this ball of things is sort of groaning and I need to babysit it. But I mean, it's very weird.
You do know what's happening because they'll tell you.
Yeah.
You can kind of go through your comments and gauge like, oh, they like the little songs at the end of vlogs, or they wish the songs were at the beginning of vlogs, or they like it when the rap battle characters are mean to each other, or they don't like Day Storm.
Just little comments,
little things.
Interesting though is like quantifying these people. I went to a baseball game and I was like, I wonder how many people are in this stadium. So I looked it up. I was like, wow, 50,000. I just posted a vlog and that already has over 100,000 views. And I'm like, this is 50,000. So that's 100,000. This is 300,000. So to actually realize how many people are watching this and seeing that, just getting that kind of perspective. The video that I just posted that took me 2 seconds to make, more people are going to watch that is in this entire arena. And it's crazy. And then even I've posted videos out places and somebody says, oh my gosh, I'm here right now, don't move. I'm like, okay, I'm going to move really quickly. Because it's all real time.
It's all real time.
It is hard to put into perspective the audience. One of the things that was great that we started doing was about a year and a half into Dignation, we just went, maybe we could do this show. I mean, there's no magic to the show. It's just you and me sort of jerking around on the couch with beers. What if we did this out in public somewhere? And it was the first time we ever did that, and we had about 250 people show up, which we thought was amazing. And then you move that forward, and we're doing shows at South by Southwest in front of 3,500 people and crowd surfing. And 3,500 people is such a small slice of our audience, but when you see that, when you're there and you can actually talk to them and hear 3,500 people laugh at some stupid thing that you say, it really puts it all into perspective. It's just sort of the same thing that Justine said, where just like 3,500 people is so much smaller than the amount of people that are actually watching this, but for whatever reason, there's this sort of weird feeling of solidarity when you're making these things. You're almost making them in a vacuum and putting them out in the world, and that number doesn't really resonate with how many people it would be if you were in person seeing all those people.
And it's worldwide too. I told the story on another panel. I went to Norway and I looked at my stats from Norway. I was like, nobody watches my videos here, so okay. So the company that I went out with, Opera, the web browser, they suggested that I do a meetup. And so I made like a Facebook page and a little invite, and they expected 25 people to show up. Because it was like the day before I made a video. We had like 650 screaming little children that showed up to this event. Security showed up, they're like, what's going on? We can't have this happen here. So they moved me and like 600 little kids across the street somewhere public.
That's interesting. I had something like that. I went to Bulgaria to see this hot girl. And just keeping it real. And she was hot, you saw her. But I went to Bulgaria to see a friend of mine, and the thing is, like a lot of other countries, they can't watch American television, but they want to see how America does. So the only way they can do it is they watch the web, because they can watch YouTube and things like that. So apparently, a lot of people have been watching my videos. So I got there, and it was weird because the pilot gave me some dap. And I was like, the pilot's giving me. Then the stewardess knew who I was. Then I got off the plane, and it's like all these people like knew who I was when I got off the plane, because they don't get to watch our television, but they get to watch the YouTube, and the YouTube.
I've heard that. I've heard that.
They get to watch the YouTube, and they got to sit. So it was crazy because like all these people approached me, they're like touching my leg and stuff, and it was just an interesting feeling to see how it translates across seas to in comparison to just walking through California and then one person will be like, hey man, you know, and it's like, okay, you know. So.
But then that's the problem with television, because a lot of these little kids, whenever we do TV shows or TV appearances, they can't watch it because it's not available in their country or where they live. So that's kind of hard for us, because if I do a TV show, I mean, I did a Criminal Minds or a Law and Order thing maybe like 3 years ago, and now it's finally just making it out into other places. So, and then these people are like, well, I illegally had to do something so that I could watch your live stream at CES. I'm like, great, now these little kids are going to go to jail trying to watch our content.
I mean, it's interesting because in many cases you can be your own boss here, and that's really, really important to the creative process, for sure.
It's huge.
Right?
It's huge. I mean,
it's hard though, you know, being your own boss, because I really love Call of Duty, so there's been some times where I've played Call of Duty for a week straight. So I started a gaming channel, so now I play Call of Duty and film it.
See, that's perfect though. That's exactly why it's awesome to be your own boss, because you took something you loved and were like, I'm going to make a video of me playing Call of Duty, and you did, and that's awesome.
But your audience is kind of also your boss too, right?
That is true.
You know, if they love you,
they're our partner.
Yeah,
you know,
pretty much.
We wouldn't be able to do what we do without them, and they wouldn't be able to watch what they enjoy without us. So I think we have it. We're in it together. But there's nobody in a suit involved, and I like that.
I think if anyone wants to ask any questions, we have about 4 minutes left. If you want to line up, and we'll try to answer some questions.
What's going on, guys? Is there such a thing as posting content too frequently? Because like what I've found is when you post a new vlog or video, it drastically takes away from the one before it, the viewership. Do you think there's such a thing as oversaturating your
I think a lot of times it depends on who you are. You look at someone like Shay Carl, who does a daily vlog, they're used to him doing that. So they come back every day to see that. Someone like myself, if I started posting every day, I think it would hurt me, because they're used to me posting once a week now. So if I was to post every day, it would probably be too oversaturated for myself. So it all depends on, back to your audience, on how you grow your audience and what you choose to do. Because also like Charles and Allie, they post every day. They do a daily vlog every day also.
But it's hard to change that schedule.
It's hard for them. So they're kind of stuck that way. So now people, but once you start it, they're going to expect something every day. And that's tough, because they've been living their life on a daily schedule for years.
It's hard. That's why I'll do the one-take
tough.
iPhone vlogs every day, because it's super easy. Even then, I get yelled at. They're like, you forgot to post today. I'm like, I was traveling. I'm tired. Leave me alone.
Leave me alone. The kids.
So yeah, I think it's all about like what you expect your audience. And if you made a crazy video every single day, it's like impossible. You know.
I think it's sometimes wise to spend twice as much time on half as many videos. Also, it's like you can take the amount of time and just put it into something that's really great, and just keep working on it until it's really great, and then I think it'll get more traffic.
Cool. Thank you.
Hi, how you going? Kirsty from Australia. I'm about to launch a online talk show where I've interviewed guests, and you were talking about the whole haters concept. Rather than it being about the host, what I'm concerned about is how can I make sure that I create a culture of non-judgment for the guests, because some of them have shared very personal stories about stripping or being involved in drug addiction. Is there a way to create that culture?
It's really hard, because I mean, these people, they are anonymous to you, so they feel like they can say whatever they want. So I mean, it's really hard, especially when I have other people like my sisters or my family in my videos. They're like, oh, I don't like your sister, she's ugly. I'm like, that's my sister. Or then, I have like friends in my videos. They're like, we don't like him. Get him out of here.
So how would any of you advocate deleting the post to create a standard that you don't accept that, or would you respond to them, or what would you?
I think that's a good point.
Can you set ground rules with your
Well, I think also, have you haven't launched it yet?
It's about to be launched.
Yeah, one of the things that I would recommend would be, because you know what you're doing. I mean, you've got the luxury of knowing what can usually happen and what you want to happen. One of the things I'd recommend would be to turn off comments on YouTube specifically and focus that conversation back onto your own website. Because if you do that on your own website, you can I think people have sort of become, they're much more likely to leave those types of comments on YouTube because that's what they do there. That's what those people specifically do there. And that's some of the fun of being on YouTube for people. So if you close off the comments on the actual YouTube page and you move that conversation to something that you can moderate a little bit more, actually have moderators, maybe even not a terms of service, but a little bit of a blurb of, hey, this is what we want this conversation to be here, and if you're not interested in that, that's fine, but this is not a place for you, and your comments will be removed or
if you
whatever.
Taryn, yeah, do you notice?
Well, yeah, I think another option is just giving them a full disclaimer that this is what can happen. Definitely feel free to delete comments. You can even write something in your description box saying, you know,
if you're negative.
the reason, if you're negative, that doesn't belong here. But I also think that the audience that's meant to find you and likes your show, as they stay with you, you're going to find that any sort of negativity a lot of it starts going away.
And they'll
after a
police
while.
too, right?
They end up policing each other. So if you want to keep the YouTube conversation going, I mean, that's personally how I would go about doing it.
And you can also set it so that you can moderate comments as they come in. So I would definitely keep the comments.
Keep the comments,
but do moderate them. And let the guests know too.
But let the guests know
if you keep them and you moderate them, because if you have positive comments, more people will watch. It's just how it works. So if you delete the comments completely, it's almost like, why are they hiding their comments? What's the problem? But if you keep the comments up and just only let the positive comments come through until you build an audience, a strong base. Eventually, once you build a base audience that supports you, they'll attack the negative anyway, because they'll be your fans. I have fans now. When someone calls me the N-word or anything, they'll come and they'll crush them. My fans will take care of them. I don't have to anymore. So you want to build your core audience where they can just come back and just comment on and take out those negative. But at first, you have to build that audience.
On the X Factor or any of the network shows, do they enable comments?
It depends.
Or do they highly moderate them?
I think it's highly moderated when you're talking about network shows.
And that's part of the reason why YouTube's so appealing to an audience is that there's a lot more honesty there.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Good luck.
So I just have a quick question. Did you guys start channels that didn't work, and then you finally found this magical way of like making it work, or was it just like, wow, I just made this amazing piece of content and it just took off? And obviously there's promotion behind it, and there's Twitter, and there's
Maybe not a channel, but I think when you start series and things, your channel stays with you. You may start ideas and things that wouldn't work, because I've done sketches, and before I even did music, I did fitness videos. I was a personal trainer for 7 years. So all of my videos were fitness videos at first. Then you find something that works and it stays with your channel, and your audience kind of grows with you. So you keep your channel and just try different things until you find something that kind of works for what you feel. You'll know, trust me.
It like happens,
It
right?
happens,
It's like popcorn,
yeah,
right?
yeah, it'll happen.
Oh, hey.
And guys, this question is of utmost importance for Justine. Did you figure out who that was in the wig?
I actually got an email from the wig company because my audience attacked them, and I'm pretty sure they sent a ton of calls and emails, and it turns out, well, this is what the email says, that the girl wasn't me, and it was a model named Jenna, which is kind of ironic because that's my sister's name. So
Did you ever find her, the model?
this was, I posted that video a week ago, so this is all fresh. So I got the email yesterday, so as soon as I get home, I'm going to dive into this, and I need to find this girl.
And if it is you, you're going to get your cut, of course.
No, I just want to find this girl, if that's
I'm talking about if the
Need
girl
that wig
is
money.
Oh, if it is me? I'm
Get that
pretty
wig
sure.
money.
Well, I think we sold a lot of them actually recently, so.
You guys have been building your audiences for a long time. If you were starting today, fresh, what would be the biggest difference or differences between how you would approach building your audience now versus what you did years ago?
I think
Is there a
now
difference?
we've learned so much over that course. So really, if I was starting now and I knew nothing, I'd probably do the same thing.
I do exactly the same thing.
Yeah. So I think everyone, I mean, some of my first videos, I look at those, I still leave them up because people like to go back to see where you started. And it's embarrassing, but, you know, I like to leave it there because it's like, this is how I started, this is the process
They
that
wanna
we've
see the
all
growth.
went through.
Yeah.
It's like your
Do you think
demos
there
from your garage.
Yeah. Do you think there are more success? There are things that work for you that you wouldn't do again? I mean, what was a complete waste of time in terms of building an audience in your perspective?
I don't think anything was a waste of time. I mean, a lot of things were a waste of time physically, but I don't think in the theory of growing it was a waste of time because you learn from it. And it gives you more patience, and it gives you more, experience to actually not make the mistakes. You have to make those type of mistakes to grow. So I wouldn't take back any things that I've done. You have to go through these phases and things, and then you get to the point where it's just you're on autopilot. Like I'm sitting here now, and I know I have a video that has to go tomorrow, and it's going to happen.
I don't have near the audience that these guys have a lot of times because I take time off to work on TV shows or whatever I've been doing. I think the biggest thing that I learned was to just be who I am and not be afraid of putting stuff out. My first video I put out was back in 2006, got over 1 million views, and then I didn't post another YouTube video for 1.5 years because I was afraid of the backlash from the traditional media community. I was afraid I wasn't going to get hired anymore to host these jobs, and now I still keep on putting up these videos, and I'm still getting hired. So it's like I'm okay with it. I wish I would have done more of it.
Yeah, listening to your audience, I think, is it. Unfortunately, we're over time. But thank you very much. Let's give a round of applause to our panelists. Thank you to NATPE and to Google YouTube for sponsoring this track, and thanks all for coming. I think we're all going to take a photo. Are we?
Sounds good.